Welcome to the Lifetime Assembly channel. My name is John, and today I'm going to help you assemble your in-ground powerlift basketball system with a 54-inch polycarbonate backboard. Before we get started, make sure the model number of your basketball system is listed in the description below. This video follows the steps outlined in the assembly manual that comes with the basketball system, but if you've already begun and need help on a specific step, check the comments or description below for a timestamp associated with each step. Now let's take a look at what comes inside the box. There are steps within this assembly that require at least 2 other people, so be sure to have at least 2 other adults available to help. Before we get into the assembly process, let's take a look at the tools you'll need to complete the job. You'll need 2 3/4-inch wrenches, 2 1/2-inch wrenches, 2 9/16 wrenches, a socket set, a pair of scissors, a tape measure, a Phillips head screwdriver, a rubber mallet, a block, a drill. You may just use an impact driver. If you decide to use one as well, be sure not to over torque or over tighten the hardware, 2 ladders, and a pencil. To make this easier, we're going to use a Phillips head bit, a 1/2-inch deep socket, a flathead screwdriver, and a socket adapter. This video is meant to be used as a companion to the assembly manual and not a direct replacement. So for the best results, make sure to have the assembly manual on hand during the build. It's crucial that you refer to the assembly manual to review the safety instructions for this build to prevent serious injury or property damage. All right, let's get started. This section will go over how to cement your bottom pole into the ground. Since we're inside, we're not going to be able to do that, but it's crucial that you do. We're going to use this sleeve as our bottom pole. Take the top pole, which is the pole with these 2 holes, and attach your bracket to the side with the larger holes, making sure your bracket is oriented like this. Take the middle pole, which is the pole with the warning label, and slide it into the bottom of the top pole. Before moving on to the next step, make sure you've done the previous steps properly because the next step is irreversible. You're going to seat the poles together by striking an end on a piece of scrap wood or cardboard 5 or 6 times. You're going to need to use some force, so be sure not to hit your toes. Make sure the slots at the top of the middle pole are completely covered. If they're not, don't continue and call customer service. It's crucial that you complete this step properly, otherwise your system can separate during use, causing serious injury or property damage. Once the poles are seated together, measure 1 inch up from the bottom of the top pole and then insert your screw. This may be difficult, but the screw is designed to go through the metal. Make sure to add this screw on the same side as the pole bracket. Insert the 2 carriage bolts into the rim pivot bracket like this. Place a push nut onto the axle, making sure it's oriented like this. It may be helpful to use a 1/2-inch socket and a rubber mallet to tap this on less than 1/4 of an inch. Place the rim pivot bracket onto the rim like this, and then push the axle through both. Now place the other push nut onto the other side of the axle. Place the plastic guard over the back of the rim like this. Then place the hardware in the rim pivot bracket into the bottom holes on the backboard. Then add the hardware. When tightening this hardware, I find it easier to put a flathead screwdriver in between the axle and the head of the carriage bolt to prevent it from spinning. Slide the U-bolt onto the bracket, then slide the U-bolt into the top holes through the rim. Now thread the jam nuts all the way down the U-bolt. Add the springs, then the retainer plate, then add the hardware. When tightening this hardware, only tighten so that the rim doesn't wobble. Now go ahead and add the rim cover plate. Insert the tabs on the tie plate into these slots on the extension arms. Line up the holes and secure with the hardware in the center. Insert the caps into the other end of the lower extension arms. With the pole oriented like this, add the lower extension arms and secure through these holes. Make sure to add the spacers between the lower extension arms and the pole. When tightening this hardware, make sure to only tighten until the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Insert the pole cap into the top of the pole, making sure that these flaps line up with the holes. Connect the upper extension arms to the pole through these holes, making sure that the arms are oriented like this. Remember, only tighten until the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Next, you're going to attach the lower extension arms to the backboard, place something under the rim so it doesn't get scratched, and to make this step easier, we're going to prop up the top of the backboard. Now attach the upper extension arms to the backboard, making sure to add the hardware in this order. Remember, only tighten until the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Insert a plug into the remaining holes on the back of the backboard. Place the gas spring cover over the gas spring like this. Attach this end of the gas spring to the pull bracket with the hardware. Only finger tighten this hardware for now. Place the trigger into the handle oriented like this, and then add the hardware to hold the handle and the trigger together. Only finger tighten this hardware for now. Attach the handle to the pull through these set of holes, only finger tighten the hardware for now. Insert the release pin into this hole on the gas spring. Then lay the release pin into these grooves on the trigger. Add the lifter arms to the handle by inserting the hardware through the handle, lifter arms, trigger, and gas spring. If you're having a hard time getting this bolt to go all the way through, you may need to loosen or completely remove the hardware that is holding the handle to the pole. Once the bolt is all the way through, only finger tighten the hardware for now. Now connect the other end of the lifter arms to the hole at the end of the lower extension arms. Tighten the hardware until the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Now add the grease from the provided packet to the pin on the gas spring. Now go ahead and tighten all the hardware from the previous steps. Remember, all of this hardware only needs to be tightened until the bolt is flush with the end of the nut. Now go ahead and remove the plastic film from the front of the backboard. Attach the center frame pad to the bottom of the backboard, oriented like this. Then secure through the divots with the hardware. There are no pre-drilled holes in the frame, but the screws are designed to go through the metal. Attach the corner frame pads to the corner. They will overlap the center frame pad and secure with the hardware. make a mark at 5 inches from the top of the bottom pole. Before moving on, make sure you follow the next steps properly, because otherwise you may have to replace your poles. With the help of at least 2 other people, lift the basketball assembly up onto the bottom pole, making sure that the backboard faces the playing area. While someone continues to hold the pole, place a piece of scrap wood on the lower extension arms and tap it down until the middle pole measures within ½ an inch of that 5-inch mark we made earlier. If you can't get the middle pole within ½ inch of that mark that we made earlier, don't continue and call customer service. On the back of the system, measure 1 inch up from the bottom of the middle pole and insert your self-tapping screw. Now attach the net to the rim. With the help of another person, lift the backboard up until the rim measures 10 feet from the playing surface. Place the sticker onto the gas spring so that the 10-foot mark is just below the cover. Thank you for watching this video on how to assemble your lifetime in-ground power lift basketball system with a 54-inch polycarbonate backboard. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our customer service team and check out our other awesome products at lifetime.com.